Hello and welcome to the United Stand. It's Red Rumours, it's all the latest Manchester United transfer news you need on the United Stand. We'll be talking Griezmann, big news around Griezmann, Bale, Willian, Danny Rose and some big things around Jose Mourinho as well. But first of all, there was a lot of people getting upset over the weekend about Garth Crooks, not Brooks. He has got country, it's not really my cup of tea, but Garth Crooks saying that Manchester City are the best Premier League side he's ever seen. All I'd say about that bloke is if Dix had wings, his forehead would be a landing strip. But let's crack on with Manchester United news, transfer news. Griezmann is where we're going to start, although it's very close because I like the Mourinho news as well. So Griezmann booed at the weekend when he was substituted in the Madrid derby and Simeone snubbing him. There's definite problems at not Manchester United, we're doing all right, thanks, at Atletico Madrid and with Griezmann. And all I would ever say about this is that around this time last year, Griezmann and the deal to Manchester United began, and it went on for months and months, and it was going to happen last summer. And then right at the last minute, when they didn't, the transfer ban was upheld by Atletico Madrid, he had a pang of guilt and decided he would stay for another season. We spoke about it in the summer, we were very upset about it in the summer, but ultimately what happens is that when a player is staying somewhere out of guilt or loyalty, the football is such fine lines. I've said it before that, you know, a drop in 5% can make you go from being Griezmann to, you know, someone like Henderson. So it's like, he's clearly, I don't think he's unhappy at Atletico Madrid, but I don't think he's as motivated there. The issue here is that Barcelona are interested, and I think United probably thought, well, we'll do this deal in the summer. It's a big deal, the new number 7. But this, I think Griezmann's now a deal that could be done in January. In the interest of somebody like Barcelona, because let's not forget, £89 million will buy you Griezmann. That's his release clause. His contract was increased, his wages were increased, but his release clause wasn't, which was always a big sign that he was only staying for a short period of time anyway. If Barcelona want him, Griezmann does and has said before that he likes the climate in Spain, he likes the sunny weather. Which, you know, I've always said, is that a concern about his mentality anyway? He's a bit weak, you know, because the Premier League, we've seen with Mkhitaryan, you've got to be strong-minded, you can't be a bottler. But to flip it back to United, he was literally so close to coming to United. He stayed at Atletico Madrid out of for moral and loyal reasons. I would be surprised if he then decided not to come to United when that deal was on the plate and he's basically said, look, you know, I think there's rumours there was a discussion with Mourinho and Mourinho wasn't happy but understood that he was being loyal to Atletico Madrid. So I'd be surprised if Griezmann then went, you know what, Manchester United, I know that I was coming to you, but now Barcelona are interested, forget it. If he is a moral and loyal person, I think he'll be coming to United. The number 7 shirt being left free is a massive sign that he's coming to us. I still think he'll come to us. And, you know, January transfer window, I don't normally think it's that interesting. But from a Manchester United perspective, as we're going to talk about in this show, I think it's very exciting. So watch this space with Griezmann. He's definitely on the way out of Atletico Madrid. And where he goes is going to be very interesting. Don't discount Chelsea having a go as well, because 90 million for Griezmann is a snip. You know, he's 27 at the moment. One of the best players in the world on his day. And 90 million is half of what people are paying for people like Ousmane Dembele and Mbappe. So it's cheap for someone like Griezmann. I want to bring in Mourinho here because Mourinho's new contract is of some discussion. We know that PSG are interested in him. They want to sack their manager and they want Mourinho apparently. The rumour is that they'll have to pay about £30 million for Mourinho to get him out of his contract because Mourinho's still got a year on his contract after this season. But more importantly, we've got an offer of another year, like we do with a lot of our players. Like I heard yesterday people saying Herrera and Mata and and Luke Shaw are free to talk to any clubs out of the Premier League in January. They're not. It's myths. It's drama building. They're not free to talk to anybody in January. We've got the option of a year extension. We have as a club. If we do that, then Herrera's not going anywhere for another year. He might want to go somewhere, and he might say, I'm not signing anything longer than a year, but we can force him to sign a year. The same with Mourinho. At the end of next season, his contract's up, but we've got another year, which means if PSG want him, that 30 million probably goes up to more like 40 million. And if Mourinho wants to go, there's not much we can do about it. But I don't think he does, and interestingly, Manchester United are willing to offer him a new contract. And I don't think it's about the money for Mourinho. It's more about what Manchester United are going to offer him. We was on about this a few weeks ago. It's a positive for United, however you dress it up. Because if you don't want Mourinho to stay, you get a new manager. If you do want Mourinho to stay, like me, as part of that contract negotiations, he's going to be saying, look at what Guardiola's done with an open checkbook. I need that. And if you want me to stay, I need that open checkbook. And that is the rumour at the moment. I think it was in one of the papers in the UK today that United, as part of this new contract they're going to offer him, they're going to offer him 3 superstar signings this summer. And I think they've got to do that. You know, maybe Sir Alex Ferguson wouldn't be that fussed about that because he could, you know, he can work miracles with people like Cleverley in the midfield. But Mourinho, especially, well, also, when was Sir Alex Ferguson ever against like someone like Guardiola, who is inheriting Aguero, De Bruyne and Silva, and then has an open checkbook as well? The closest he had to that was Mourinho when he first came to Chelsea. And it takes time. It took Sir Alex Ferguson, I think, well, Chelsea won the title in 05 and 06, so it took Sir Alex Ferguson 3 years to get it right. So I think that's what Mourinho wants as part of the contract, and I see that as a big, big positive. Still rumours about Gareth Bale coming to United next summer. Last summer I wanted him. I don't know what you lot think. I mean, to be honest with you, please do get commenting about what your thoughts are on Griezmann to United. Do you think it's going to happen? Mourinho, the new contract, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? And obviously Bale's very important. What are your thoughts on Bale? In the summer I said yes, but I think over the last few months it's just highlighted to me what a lot of you were saying in the summer. I don't want him. He's too injury prone. He'll be 29 next summer. And over the last few months, Wales have not gone to the World Cup because he wasn't fit. Real Madrid are struggling because he's not fit. Why would we want him at United? It's a bit like, you know, yes, he might be one of the world's best players, but if you're not going to play for half the season, we'd be better off with somebody who's half as good who can play 40 games a season. To be honest with you, Gareth Bale or Jesse Lingard, well, you know, if Bale's only playing 15 games a season but Lingard's playing 40, there's an argument that that player who's available for 40 games is more important than someone who's available for 15 games. I wouldn't go that far as with Lingard, but you know what I mean. There are other players, you know, Pulisic. I'd take Pulisic if he's going to be fitter. So Gareth Bale does keep getting mentioned, but he always gets mentioned. For me, I'd be massively concerned now if we signed him with injuries. And why Manchester United's injury department think they can sort out Bale's injury issues when they can't sort out our own is a bit odd. One player, actually I should have used him instead of Lingard, is Willian at Chelsea. Massive, massive fan of his. In fact, the last day of the transfer window, there was a rumour that we were trying to get a hold of him at the end of August this year. So I'd be ecstatic if we got Willian. I think he'd fall into the Matic category, where if you signed him, you'd be like, why did Chelsea let him go? Started the season for Chelsea, and then Hazard come back and he's on the bench a lot. He's a fantastic player. He's got great delivery. He's Premier League proven. He's hard working. He likes Mourinho. Mourinho likes him. We need a wide player. I think Willian, up to 35 million I would pay. I think he'd be perfect for us. Willian is 30 next August. So yeah, he's getting on the old side, which is why I'd say 30 million. But I really, really would like Willian. I don't know what you lot think, but I really would like Willian at Manchester United. We need a wide player. I wanted it to Perisic. He signed a new contract. That's probably not going to happen. But Willian at Manchester United would be perfect. I think, again, it's just another mistake from Conte not using him as much as we would. And, you know, we don't have great success with Brazilians, but he's Premier League proven. And his delivery off both feet's great. He can play both sides, but more right-hand side, which is exactly what we need. I would love us to get Willian, and I would love us to get him in January, because I think it would give us that boost. And we were talking about this last night on the Sunday Night Show. For those who have not watched it, it was a great show. We were talking about how, you know, there's a buzz around United at the moment because Pogba and Zlatan and Rojo are back. If we can get a good few results between now and Christmas, and then add a couple of signings in January, maybe a Willian, and God, you know, please, you know, Griezmann or even an Ozil. You add those two sort of players to the squad that we've got at the moment, and I think, or Danny Rose, who I'm going to talk about in a minute, and then suddenly we've improved 2 positions, and we can go into that sort of Champions League stage really, really excited. Of course, Willian wouldn't be able to play in that, and I don't think Danny Rose would either, but they'd improve us towards the end of the season. So Willian for me would be fantastic. And on Danny Rose, not part of the London Derby, the North London Derby on Saturday, not part of the squad. Apparently not very happy. There's been a few comments over the last 4 months from Danny Rose about leaving Spurs and Pochettino, and there is talk of a fallout. There's talk of a swap deal for Luke Shaw and Danny Rose. Now, in modern football, you don't really ever see swap deals done. But it doesn't mean it can't happen. And actually, it looks like Danny Rose and Pochettino and Spurs, that relationship is deteriorating. Luke Shaw, I would have said, I want to stay, and I do want him to stay. The thing I'd only say about Luke Shaw is I was very surprised that Luke Shaw was on the bench for Manchester United at the weekend, when we've got so many players back now, and we have a really strong bench, and Luke Shaw's on the bench, which to me is a massive sign that Mourinho has changed his opinion towards Luke Shaw. Didn't really get a lot of publicity. Maybe somebody will phone in about it on Skype tonight, because I think it's well worth discussing for the United faithful. Because Darmian and Blind have played a lot of football this season, and Mourinho only a month ago said it's hard. I can't see Luke Shaw getting into the team because he's got to get ahead of Young and Blind and Darmian. Well, he's ahead of Blind and Darmian now. He was on the bench at the weekend. So something's changed there. So maybe this Luke Shaw for Danny Rose thing, maybe it's not going to happen. The one thing I've always said about Luke Shaw is he's younger than Danny Rose. If he gets back to form, he's better than Danny Rose, and he's taller than Danny Rose, which Mourinho will like. So I don't think that for those who are a Luke Shaw fan like me, I don't think it's over just yet. But Danny Rose, Luke Shaw, I think Pochettino would like Luke Shaw, and I think a lot of Manchester United fans would like Danny Rose. So one way or the other, Rose or Shaw are very good fullbacks, and I think United will benefit from one or the other of them. It's better than playing Ashley Young there, who again got an assist at the weekend. But if you're watching United play games, Ashley Young as a left back is atrocious. He's absolutely atrocious. Defensively, offensively, he's very good. For me, Ashley Young's a good squad player. I think that's his role. I don't think he should be starting games. We need a proper left back, because if we've got a proper left back, we don't concede that goal against Newcastle at the weekend. Loan watch. We do this every week. Good and bad. Fosu Mensah, get him out of Crystal Palace. I felt that when Roy Hodgson was given the job. What are you going to learn from that clown? Other than how to juggle and fall over and throw custard pies. But he was on the bench again at the weekend for Crystal Palace. They keep playing this lad Ward at right back, who is rubbish. So Fosu Mensah's not playing. Now, Fosu Mensah being on loan was a great thing at the start of the season. I didn't mind that Crystal Palace were losing games as long as Fosu Mensah was playing, and the feedback was that he was one of their better players. He's now not playing games. He may as well be at Manchester United training under a great manager with great players than training with Roy Hodgson and not even playing games. It's turned into a bad loan deal. We need to get Fosu Mensah out, and we need to be vocal about that, because it needs to be an agenda for the club. They need to get Fosu Mensah out of there. He's wasting his career at Crystal Palace. A lot of us moaned last year that Fosu Mensah was wasting his career, you know, not making the bench at Manchester United when he should be playing first team football. He's got to play first team football. He needs to get out of Crystal Palace. There'll be clubs in the Premier League, Bournemouth, Huddersfield, a team like that. They would love Fosu Mensah. So get him out, please. The second one, Pereira, is a positive. 80 minutes for Valencia yesterday. They won 2-0 away from home. They are second in La Liga. They're having a fantastic season. They're playing really good football. They're not conceding many goals. Pereira played for 80 minutes. He played from the start. In fact, Pereira was substituted on 80 minutes for Soler, who is the player we are heavily linked to, that apparently we're going to spend £30 million on plus Pereira to get at Manchester United. Yet he's the player. Pereira is playing ahead of him at Valencia, and Pereira is our player. Something needs to happen there. I'm a big fan of Pereira. I actually didn't want him to go. I was angry that he left, but ultimately, can you moan about a player who is second in the Liga, playing week in, week out, starting games for one of the best teams in Europe at the moment? Would he have been starting games for Manchester United? I think even the most optimistic of us know that he wouldn't have done. So from a personal point of view, Pereira has made the right decision. I know it upsets us a bit because we want him to be loyal to Manchester United, but I rate Pereira. I think Pereira will be, in 3 years' time, one of the best midfielders in European football. Will he be doing that for Manchester United, or will we just let him go to Valencia because that's where he wants to be at the moment? I mean, have no doubts about it. The way Pereira's talking, he wants to move to La Liga, and he probably wants to move to Valencia. But he's a Manchester United player. I think he wants to do that because he feels that he was ready for United and he's not being used. We can turn that situation around. We don't want another Pogba. There's a few players like United like this at the moment. Fosu Mensah, Pereira, Angel Gomez even talking about going to Barcelona. These players are fantastic players and we need them at Manchester United. So the good thing about Pereira is that he's really, really tearing it up in La Liga. He's playing games now for a team that's doing really well. I mean, last year he was in La Liga playing well for a team that got relegated. This year he's playing really well for a team that's going for the title. So that's positive, but he wants to be at Valencia at the moment. And we're linked to a player at Valencia that's not even getting in their team. And we're going to give him money and Pereira. It's silly. We need to turn that situation around. But it's good that he's playing games as well. Anyway, Griezmann, Mourinho's contract, Bale, Willian, Danny Rose, Fosu Mensah and Pereira. Lots for you to get commenting about. Get commenting below. Give us your thoughts. Big show today. Lots of positive today. Not really any speculation rumours. oh, we're going to sign, I don't know, Messi. You know, there's depth and reality to all of the stories. So get commenting below, give us your thoughts on them, and we'll be picking up at those. And obviously 8 o'clock tonight is Skype Goldbridge. It's your show. Call in, anything you want to discuss, and we'll take that on the United Stand. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. If you like Red Rumours, do drop us a like, and I'll speak to you all very soon. Thanks for watching.